Hello, my name's Madeline and welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to talk about what it says in the title, which is how do you get into university without your A-levels? I go to uni and I have just finished my foundation year, which is what we're going to talk about as a means of getting into uni, getting accepted without your A-levels. So I'm going to pretty much focus on that pathway, the foundation year pathway, as that is what I know and I would highly recommend for a couple of reasons. But basically, in the long and short of it, can you get into uni without A-levels? Yes. So don't give up just yet. So hopefully you've clicked on this video for the reasons why I was looking for this type of video 2 years ago. And that is because you want to go to uni and you don't have your A-levels. And you kind of want to explore your options as to how that is possible. When I was looking a couple of years ago of how I could get into uni without my A-levels, there was two options that kind of came up. One of which I think is an access to higher education course, and I believe that is done in a college setting, which was straight away something I did not really want to explore. That would have been last resort, but I really did not want to be back in that college environment, being in my 20s around 16, 17-year-olds. No, not for me, and also quite triggering to be in that kind of environment again, because that's where it all went to shit. Hence why I had to do this in the first place. I did not finish my A-levels because I became too unwell with my mental health, so never finished my second year, so I only got my AS levels, so just half, which is not enough UCAS points to go to uni. Once I'd kind of decided that the access course was not going to be for me, it was like, right, how do I get into uni? And the way that I came across which suited me best was doing a foundation year. Sorry, I forgot to mention that Open University is a way of acquiring a degree. So if you feel like that would be something suited to you, then definitely explore that. I just personally wanted to have the structure of going to like in-person lessons, classes, and also I have a massive like thing in my head that I'm really behind, and so I didn't want to spend more time doing the degree because I'm pretty sure the psychology degree alone is 6 years at Open University, whereas I can do the foundation and degree in 4 going to an actual uni. So I saved myself 2 years. So yeah, that's pretty much why I decided that I didn't want to do Open University. With a foundation year, you don't have, it's not the same requirements, obviously. You'll have to like check, depending on unis and courses, what the requirements are for specifically. But I think it's pretty much just like your maths and English GCSE. So as long as you got that, don't quote me on that, just check that part yourself. But if you find that you do meet the requirements to apply, then foundation year. What do you need to do to apply to a foundation year? Obviously you don't have your A-levels. That's why you're here. The biggest thing that you need to rely on to get you accepted is your personal statement. And that's basically just because you don't have your grades to do the talking for you. You as a person and what you've done so far is got to do the talking for you. So I'm going to break down key points as to what you should really include to do that. Had you got your A-levels and been a traditional pathway student, then you would write your personal statement heavily based on your grades and the courses you've done at college and what you've learned and what's led you on to do what you want to study at uni. But we don't have that. So you kind of have to talk about what you are like as a person, what you're passionate about. You need to be able to prove that you're passionate about it. You can't just say I'm passionate about art and then nothing else. You need to prove that you're passionate about art. That can be done with a portfolio, evidence. You need evidence as to why you're saying you are a certain way. A way in which you can create your evidence is your life experience. So what I mean by life experience is who you are as a person, what's happened to you, in your life. Experiences, I suppose, that has kind of informed your desire to study what you want to study, or informed your decision to pursue a career. So for example, with me, in my opening paragraph, I briefly spoke about my mental health and how that, one, affected my ability to complete my A-levels, and two, how that experience with not only my mental health but being hospitalised really informed my decision to study psychology and pursue a career in clinical clinical psychology. And I feel like that opened it up quite nicely as to why I'm here and why am I interested. I did also mention my YouTube. Granted, I'm not as regular of a poster as I should be, but nonetheless, I have made videos on mental health, and yeah, kind of had that as another point to back up why I should be allowed to go study psychology, because it just shows again that in my free time I am dedicating time and energy to this particular topic. But yeah, that would be my number one. Number two is your work experience. That can either one be directly relevant to what you want to study, and if you don't have a job that has been directly relevant to what you want to study, make it relevant. And that doesn't need to be necessarily what you've done in that role. It can be skills that you've learned. It can be just experiences that have happened that kind of made you think in a certain way. So for example, again with me, I used to be a carer. Does it directly relate to psychology? Not necessarily, especially not really at the level I was of a carer, but I still spoke about it. I still spoke about how experiences with clients that I'd see made me think from a psychological perspective, and mental health, being one-to-one with a person who is vulnerable, be it physically or mentally, and sort of just dealing with people and kind of learning how to help people and navigate that kind of caring industry, I guess, which can ultimately be applied to what I want to do later down the line, working with people, caring for people, mental health. And then, as I mentioned, if you have any directly relevant stuff, even better. So I also did voluntary work for the NHS as a service user consultant. So what that means is basically I'm a patient and have used mental health services, and so I would go to staff training days alongside a psychologist, and we would sort of give my input on how services are and how staff treat people, especially with my diagnosis, and how that can be bettered. So a very, very valuable experience that really did solidify I want to work in mental health, because I then not only had my own experiences as a service user, but I also then had a window into how staff are trained and how they work and how they treat patients. It just gave me that peek inside the NHS and how they function. Very interesting, very eye-opening. So yeah, that was, I suppose, directly linked and relevant to what I want to study and why I want to study psychology. If you can get stuff like that together, if you can find roles before applying to a foundation year, uni in general, that's brilliant. You're just making yourself more desirable by the uni, for the uni. Desirable to the uni. Indirect and direct work experience. If it's indirect, make the experiences that you went through and the skills that you learned relevant to your personal statement and the course that you want to do and why you want to study that course. Where do you want to go with it? And if you do have direct, relevant work experience, brilliant. It basically sums itself up. Whack it in there, make it good. And this is the other thing about personal statement. You have a limit on characters and words. So you really need to make sure every, not just word, but character, every bloody comma, everything, make it count. Okay, so the third thing I would like to mention is courses, which this sounds a bit mad for we're going to uni to do a course. Why are we doing courses beforehand? So I want to give this a mention just because it is something extra I did. I don't know how beneficial it was, but basically when I decided I want to go to uni, this was during the first lockdown of 2020, I bought online courses for psychology because I just kind of wanted to start getting practice in of how to learn, because I hadn't learned anything in years and I'd kind of forgotten how to motivate myself, be self-disciplined, write, literally forgotten how to use a pen. Turns out my handwriting had completely changed. Yeah, so I bought psychology courses and I can't remember what they were called, but they were basically courses that you can do, I think, to if you were in a job role and you wanted a promotion, it's a course, they had loads of courses. It's that type of qualification that you can use to go up within your job. In terms of being beneficial regarding UCAS, no, it's not. But again, what it did demonstrate is dedication to the course, wanting to learn, even if it is independently off my own back, shows motivation, drive, passion, all these things. So yes, Qualification wise, no, doesn't really help, but it taught me stuff. It showed what I am like as a student, as someone who wants to learn, and it also just gave me a bit more of a foundation level of knowledge on psychology, because I never studied psychology before this. I was always going to study film and media. I wanted to be, an editor. And my fourth point is, you are wanted by unis. Universities have diversity policies, and what that means is they need mature students and they need non-traditional pathway students. It varies from uni to uni. Obviously, I don't know what every specific uni policies are, but in general, they don't just want to take 18-year-olds coming straight from college. They also do want mature students, older students, and people who are coming with a different route. It helps them. They look good, they look diverse, they look very nice people. So use it, exploit it. They do want you. Don't feel like you're not deserving to go or you are lesser than other students coming from college. Sod it. Once you're in the door, no one even knows how you got there. No one knows. They are kind of my 4 main points as to why you can go to uni and how you can go to uni. Life experience, work experience, courses, and diversity policies. They do want you to. Do let me know if this has been beneficial and you would like any more content on this topic. More than happy to do that kind of stuff, because this is what I needed a couple years ago. If you enjoyed, please give it a like and subscribe. Never said that before in a video, especially unironically. So this is new territory for me. I shall see you in the next one.